Paint TV, Let's Paint TV. Seen, heard every day, Monday through Friday, 11 to 12 noon Pacific Standard Time. Coming to you live from my mother's basement here in lovely Los Angeles, California. What is going on, world? What's going on? Can we help you out? Give us a call, 818-528-4516. Skype us, that's a free call. Let's Paint TV. Talking about creativity, talking about getting some paint on the canvas. Get some paint on the canvas, or at least imagine you are doing so. Sometimes your imagination can be all you need. And sometimes it's good to not leave a carbon footprint, not make a mess, and just keep it all in your head. Like right now. It's all in my head. Well, for me, I do so much of that, and at some point I need to release and put forth and put stuff out, and so that other people can maybe feed off of what you make. That's a great thing to ponder. What should you be making, or what are a bunch of bugs in this house for? I'm seeing a bunch of things flying around. There must be like a banana peel or something. There's like little fruit fly bugs. Okay, like a little weird infestation. That's ironic, because I was just cleaning up the space here, because it's a little short in space size, and I cleaned it up to some degree, and I don't know why. I think it's just a couple of stray bugs floating around. There's more than one. All right. Well, anyway, nevertheless, taking your calls here and hypothesizing or speculating on what that maybe the need, why one needs to maybe make something, why one needs to create something for potentially for themselves, but also ultimately for others to see and to engage, interact. I think that there's some interesting points to be made on that factor, because we're all in it together, guys. We're all in it together, and because of that, little creativity time is a wonderful release. It's like exercise and sports is a great release. Cooking also is a great release. The escape, though obviously cooking is more of a necessity. We all basically kind of have to do it, unless we've been fortunate enough to been raised with a silver spoon in our mouths. Kind of in the news of late. I suspect the people who are pretty well off probably never have cooked a day in their lives, but for most of us, we do some cooking, and we actually enjoy the process. My goodness, what is it with these bugs? I don't understand. What are you guys doing here? They look very active, and particularly with the light source. This particular light, I don't know. What are you doing? Hey, what's going on? We don't have any more room for you in particular. In fact, we have never had any room for you. And please, get out of here. It's weird. I was dreaming. I think sometimes your dreams can foretell the future. And I think we've noticed that maybe, or if we're open to that idea. And I was dreaming about placing fly traps and hanging them, and in particular at a bowling alley bathroom, where I had, as a kid, frequented the bowling alley and the bathroom. What the hell was that about? Okay. Anyway, so now there's some flies. I'm not bowling today, though. I do have that hankering for at times to bowl. I do enjoy a good throwing the ball down the lanes activity. Maybe like once a year. I'm good for bowling once a year, maybe twice. Same thing with golf. I could play that game once a year, maybe. All right. Anyway, here, call us on the number if you'd like to contribute. This is sort of a free for all. We're kind of, I'm basically waking up, guys. I'm still working on some coffee. Not the Cornucopia Society. Cornucopia Society. Cacophony Society. Who are a group, I suppose, that have been pretty much pretty active in the Los Angeles scene, and I suspect they're probably in other cities too. And I've heard about them, known about them, and run into them. As you could imagine, that could be the case. Dealing with what I tend to deal with. Creativity, interesting, divergent thoughts, ways of thinking. So I have encountered some of these creatures, which is a good thing. It's a good thing. It's a good thing to meet someone. I've always been a big fan of meeting people who are just a little bit off from the natural norm. I've always been a fan of that activity, as you could probably imagine, as opposed to the just sort of more of the same kind of activity. And I think we all, well, I don't know about we all, but I think a lot of us do appreciate that. But I think as a group, as a hordes of people, we're safety in numbers. So when we make the move to change, we do it when someone else has already made the move, and we're less likely to make these individual decisions for being interested in something uniquely just off kiltered, and yet we. Oh, someone's coming in the room. It looks like is that QT? QT is in the room. Good to see him. Good to see you, QT. Our resident alien from the Vancouver Island. All right, we're working on some coffee. I'm working on my mind, actually. I'm kind of tinkering it and trying to figure out and also speculate on what might be of interest for you. Right, all at the same time. It all one fell swoop. Sheryl Swoops, women's basketball star. 818-528-4516. That is the number. I'm working on some coffee. I cleaned up my studio because it was just too much crap everywhere. It's still too much stuff. I have way too much stuff everywhere. I need to, if possible, I'd love to sell it. Sell all this artwork, and I gather that's not going to happen anytime soon. And that is really one of the main issues about making artwork and being an artist, is that you tend to compile way too many objects, artworks, whatever you want to call it. And that's why it's interesting to consider maybe the idea of making stuff that has nothing to do with an actual, any leftover chemtrail of sorts. It's kind of a valid thought at the very least. I'm not really certain I know what that is or where to go about with it, but I think in a sense performance, theater, acting, there is that element to some degree. I mean, what is left is I guess maybe potentially a file for the computer or nothing at all, and it's just done, maybe live performance, live theater. I mean, geez, that was a very, very powerful thing, that would have been used and put forth, back in the day when there was no way to really document it. Though I guess people were able to draw from it. That's a pun. They could physically draw, but also draw as in, I guess it's just it's a word to ingest, to decipher, to confound oneself with the goings on that were out there in the presented themselves. So anyway, there's the number. If you're not sure where we're headed to, that's good. That's good, because this is not always about making sense. In fact, it's good to get lost. To get lost with your words, to get lost with yourself, to get lost with your mind. Maybe I'm not so much saying recommend one to do this nonstop, but I'll tell you what, in little doses, at the very least, a release valve, my friends, is what we're trying to point out. We all have a little crazy. We all have a little creativity in us. Not that creativity and crazy go hand in hand. They could, they do, but that's not so much the quintessential position that we put forth here. What it's more about is just a release and escape. We like to have an escape from the sort of the rigmaroles of life, the package deal that that society, governments put forth on you, and that obviously is always got there's always problems in that. No matter what position you are in that package deal. And nothing can ever really be ever succinct and figured out, as much as one does try, and so that's what the escape clause is all about. The escape clause is all about the jettisoning yourself in almost a altered state, so that you can kind of look back and then gander the what's going on. Get a different look. At the very least, you're getting a different look. And I don't see where that could be a negative. Now it can, everything can be a negative, but in fact, in some cases, negativity is actually good. They got negative ions. Apparently, those are better than positive ions. I don't know how that worked out, but somehow that's the case. It's just a word anyway, by the way. As what I'm saying right now, these are just a bunch of words. I'm just compiling a bunch of words, just slewing them together one after another, making a point here and there, and making no points at all. Taking your calls, by the way, 818-528-4516. Oh, we got Mr. Orlando. Orlando is in the room. All right, good to see you. All right, so I kind of put away the watercolors, and but I didn't really. So that's the interesting thing is I didn't actually. It's getting hot now. Just like last week, it was pouring rain, and now it's back to 90 degrees here in Los Angeles. But yeah, no one's here. No one. Yeah, there goes Orlando. All right. Yeah, no one's here, but we still have a few people just kind of checking us out. So I'm still well aware that there are people watching. So that makes me feel as if I need to maybe carry on your wayward son. Carry on, do 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 do. Boy, I hated that song, but what is hate, by the way? Is it hate because you hear it all the time, which I guess can be the case, which may lead you to sort of decide that you start to hate something, and in popular culture, it's very common to do so. Say Kim Kardashian, it's very, very popular or very common for people to say, "Oh, I hate Kim Kardashian." I've never met her, but so how could you really? She probably is. If you met her, she probably is a wonderful person. Well, whatever. But I mean, it's these things that we make these decisions on how we hate. Like, so I hate that song. I hate it because I heard it all the time, and maybe I hated my life. That's probably what it was. I hated my life. I hated my existence as a teenager or somewhere in that age bracket, or growing pains. And so when something gets into the popular culture, into the psyche of everyone's thought process, just even filtering through, it also represents things that you don't necessarily feel you identify with. That's another thing too. We don't necessarily identify with where that is coming from, and particularly that song. And maybe we should play it. But that's maybe you don't know what I'm talking about, which is good. I don't even know if I could find that song. But to me, that song represented sort of the South and southern United States, I guess. Country, white. It had that kind of country boy, thing. And I didn't really have that upbringing, not at all. So it just seemed foreign, and also it did seem since I was a white person, I am a white person. It made it seem like I was supposed to like it because I was white, and I'm supposed to like, say, country music, and in terms of stereotypical. How about this? Because you are, say, a white man, as I am, or at the time, or white kid, boy, whatever. Because you're in that group, you will find, and you do this, or this happens. People confide to you, fellow white people, let's say, mostly, it will be, about other race groups or other maybe sects of thought and positions, because they assume that you're on their club. You are on their club, on their team. I mean, look, this is not prison. society's not shouldn't be set up as a prison for survival based on our our skin color. But anyway, that where did we come with these thoughts? My God, it's just let it out, my friends, let it out. But you know what I'm talking about. You know, you have other people just assume, because in my case I'm a white guy, that I'm gonna be all with them on their thinking process, which is just full of sort of basically hatred towards other groups of people. So anyway, life is kind of fucked up at times, right? Life sucks. There's a lot of growing pains, and things don't always amount to anything, and it's just sort of this ongoing battle. And that's why we like to escape, right? We like to escape, and mostly we like to escape for various ways. There's various ways to do it. Exercise, sports. Sports is a great exercise or escape. Now, sport has sort of been set up probably as a way for it was a great way to alleviate war in a sense, and so that's been kind of a good thing. And you've noticed that people get pretty feverish about a particular group or side, and particularly when they have national teams going up against national teams in sport. It is just crazy, because it is sort of a war. It is a war, but it's kind of a good war. They talk about World War II being a good war. I think it's hard to really say any kind of real war is good, but sport is really the good war. That's the good war. And creativity is a good war too. Creativity is a war. It's a battle. It's a battlefield. Creativity is a battlefield. Okay, that's that. Love is a battlefield. We could play that one if you want. Okay, I'm still working on my coffee here, and you're welcome to call us here on the program, 818-528-4516. As I said, I kind of put away all my watercolors because this space is limited, and so I need to go back to working with oils. Anyway, I was fiddling around with one of the failed watercolors. In fact, the one I did yesterday, which turned out to be kind of a failure. So I started adding oil paints to the watercolor, and I'm kind of interested in the experimentation factor here. And let me just show you what I started to do. So I started to put a helicopter in the sky, and I'm going to put a few other ones in there. And now, see, it's a combination. See, it's a combo. We got a combo going on, and so that's something we might want to get to here in the next few minutes if I can finish my coffee and finish talking about really what is ever on the top of my mind. That is clearly the case. I'm just letting loose, baby. Letting loose, and it is cathartic. I think that's the kind of the name of the game here, guys. It's cathartic. Look that up. Maybe I should too. Maybe I'm not even using it right, but I think I got a hunch I'm using it correctly. But don't be shy about using words incorrectly. Don't be shy about just voicing whatever seems to come out of your head. And there's a lot of talk, you need to think before you speak. No, you need to think before you speak, son. Hey, son, why don't you think before you speak? Why don't you just hold it back in? Why don't you hold it all in? Put some thought into it. Then speak. If we all did that, there would be nothing. We would be all trigger shy. We'd be so hesitant. You need to let it out sometimes. and and it's going to happen. Going to happen. What are you going to do? You're going to get in a car accident, and in the middle of the car accident, you're going to go, let me think what I'm going to respond to. Let me think, should I scream? Should I honk the horn? I mean, these are split-second decisions, guys. We don't have time. You don't have time always to have things always figured out before you make an action. Now, let's just hope that the moves you make, as long, if you got a true sense of who you are and a true sense of your place with other peoples, the rest of this world, then really you got nothing to be afraid of. I think if you're holding back, because you think you're going to have a gaffe, you're gonna spit something out that's going to be so venomously awful towards someone because you have built-in hatred towards various groups or ideas and positions. Well, then maybe you do need to hold back and think before you speak, right? But if you feel at ease with yourself and with your fellow human beings, I think you don't need to hold back. Why do you need to hold back? What are you afraid of? I'm not really afraid of say, though I guess there are some things in my closet that I might want to be holding back now that I'm thinking about it. But deep down, I feel at this moment, I feel open. I'm a big open sore. I don't know how that. Now I kind of wish I took that back. I didn't really want to say that. All right, give us a call here, 818-528-4516. I don't know what's going on. There's a couple of people coming into the room and then they leave. They must be having some issues with the coming into the chat room. I'm not terribly sure. But guys, if you are trying to get in, just keep trying. And we are proponents of just that, of hanging in there and to just keep trying because it's bound, things just bound not to work. I feel like that's always the case, frankly, and I find that well, I guess it's that Murphy's Law thing, or catch-22. There's some sort of expression that can fit the bill in terms of what we're trying to point out. Anyway, I think what it gets down to is that there's this endless stuff out there. I've sort of had my piece here. I've sort of said my piece on some form or fashion. Now is your time to let forth and spit it out yourself here on the program, or feel free to. You can ask these questions. We can ponder these thoughts. I'm here for you every day, Monday through Friday, 11 to 12 noon. So without further ado, maybe I should try to do a little painting here. Though I don't really feel like it because I just woke up and I'm lazy. Okay, so but anyway, that's neither here nor there. Or no, it could be there. It could be there. It could be there, or could be now. A holy cow is in the room, and based on the amount of activity that's been going into the room of late, holy cow will not last very long in the room because for some reason they leave. Well, I think they feel vulnerable. They feel holy cow at the moment is there all by herself, his or herself, and they're like, well, what? Why should I even be here? Why should I even be in this chat room? But somebody's got to start and stay and hang out, and then more people will come in, and I mean that's and maybe a positive. positivity, positive thoughts. That might help. Okay, my coffee now is completely lukewarm. It's not what I wanted. I need like a microwave. I need to zap this bad boy. We need to get a little microwave here. We need bigger studio. We need a new computer. We need so much stuff here at Let's Paint TV. But go with what you got. Go with what you got, and believe me, that is the really sort of the. But it's not bad to dream. Of course, it's a great thing. Dream all you want, because that's a big deal. A lot of times I have imaginations of things that I know that I have to do, or not that it's not even so much that I have to do it. I also want to do it. I want to do these things. So these are things that show up that I know I'm going to be doing. And it's good to imagine. I find it's been good for me. I think it's been a good move on my thought process to imagine yourself doing it and completing it, and imagine it being successful. It ain't a bad move. Just my 2 cents on that thought. Perfect example is a lot of you have school finals or that kind of stuff. You have exams. Just imagine yourself doing it and finishing it, even though you still have a lot of studying to do and it's overwhelming and all that. But just imagine having it, completing it, and there's a relief. There's a relief there that it sort of stops the worrying. It stops your mind going back and forth all the time, I find. So it's just kind of a good thing to, like, I go on a long trip and I tend to always worry that my car is going to break down because it's an old car, and I imagine myself there. I imagine myself safely at the destination. I don't think this is anything. I know this idea has probably been pointed out by somebody or numbers of people, but it is a valid way to operate the brain. The brain. How does the brain work? And in many respects, that's what we do here, is talk about that. As you can see, we just noticed we lost Holy Cow. I'm not sure what's going on in the chat room, but we just are not able to keep anyone in there. And I'm not sure if they're getting just sort of mathematically exiled from the chat room or not. But so what? I guess, or no, no. What's going on? I'm a little concerned, or not. It's Friday. It's Friday, guys. Wow, Friday. Who knew? Big weekend ahead, and then we'll be back. But before that, we still got some more show for you. So call us here, 818-528-4516. I'm going to maybe, I guess I want to finish up my cup of coffee, but it is just not, it's not much fun. But I'll try to wolf it down. Drinking coffee when it's cold is sort of like eating marijuana brownies, pot cookies or whatever you call them. It's like it's not the same effect. Though it does I guess get you high supposedly, but it's not the same delivery system that I guess one is used to, So, but anyway, bottoms up on the lukewarm. It's going on cold, this coffee. All right, we're done with that. Not much interaction with you guys today. This show, thrives on that, and I'm a little disappointed in y'all. But what can I say? Just keep going, and there is something kind of neat about that too. Frankly, that there is no interaction, and it's sort of a interesting test of willpower, one's willpower to continue on without any feedback. And Lord knows we do appreciate feedback. It's almost as if I'm going crazy. I think it does feel as if I'm going crazy. And back in the day, before they had cell phones, you would see people walking down the street talking to themselves, and you clearly knew that they were crazy. But now you don't know who's crazy anymore because of cell phones. People are, I guess, talking to somebody else on that cell phone, but are they really? They could be talking to themselves, as I am now. I mean, I see that there's supposedly 136 people there. I maybe that's just a fantasy, and maybe I'm just imagining it. I don't have no idea, but I know you're all curious to see if I can continue on, and I will. I will continue on. I will survive. Somehow, some way, I will keep going. And I'll tell you how. How do I survive? We go back to it all the time. It's going to the creativity. It's going to experimentation. It's going to this other aspect of our existence that may not necessarily seem to have any value at all. It's not per se a job in a sense. I mean, it's not like being a garbage man or a doctor, it's kind of esoteric. It's kind of you throw out any kind of words you want into that creativity. But I'll tell you what, we all have it. We all use it. We may want to shut it out. We may not use it correctly. But that's a whole nother bag of worms on that. Using it correctly, who knows? I mean, that could be applied to everybody, myself included. Not using your creativity correctly, not using your noodle correctly. What does that mean? What does that mean? What that means is that there's a lot of judgmental bullshit out there. That's what it means. There's a lot of people who making decisions, for you or not so much for you, but they're just making decisions. And that's that's kind of like the spectrum of thought. And that's I think that's a good sign. Potentially, I think that that is a good sign about a healthy, vibrant society. Now I'm being optimistic here about our life, at least here in the, I guess, so-called Western world. I would suspect would be we could include ourselves with the idea that we have a good amount of freedom for the most part to express ourselves. Though that's not always the case. So, but we sure do like to have that option, and because of such, there's a lot of variant viewpoints, divergent, and I think the mistake clearly about that is that people with money or in power, I guess money and power go together, right? It's a natural kind of dealio to ram down the throats of everyone else their ideas and their thoughts, and we want in talking as if I'm in power, to have everyone operate this kind of way and sort of disable opposing viewpoints, or maybe not so much disable, but tarnish them and belittle them, and that's really what goes on all the time. And you know, that's how do you as a people, how do we as a people, a society, fight back from people in power who are maybe leading us astray with by knocking out opposing viewpoints? You know, I mean, that's an ongoing battle, right? That's an ongoing battle. But you know, fortunately, so far, well, it's a hard nut to crack, because it's an ongoing battle. But you apply this to everything. We apply this to everything. We apply this to all forms of thought and industries of thought, or just industries. We initially talk about art here, but obviously I'm more or less talking about other things. But you can apply this into all human areas of hanging out, groups, right? So whatever group that is, you're going to have that. Am I going to be doing any artwork today? That's a great question. I'm thinking. No one actually asked that. I'm just assuming that. I'm actually headed to a point where I'm actually not going to do any artwork. I'm gonna set it up, though. I think I need to set it up, and we could at least maybe do some kind of something, which is better than nothing, as they say. All right. Anyway, feel free to call us here on the program, 818-528-4516. And also go to letspainttv.com. We got t-shirts, paintings, videos. I got a Facebook page, you know what I'm saying? I'm pretty active over there. Not basically not at all with the Google Plus. That place is going down. They just did not get that right, and now they're trying to change it up. Google Plus. Last time I went in there because I did use it. The best thing that Google Plus has, and I don't think anyone's listening to me, particularly the Google people, but the best thing they got is that Google Plus Hangouts. The Hangouts is the best thing they got. Everything else is a complete mess. They need to scrap it, and otherwise, no one's going there. I'm not going there. I'm not saying that I'm going to be on Facebook for the rest of my life. I really kind of doubt that. Things change, and that's hard to imagine too, right? Well, I mean, I'm not going to be here the rest. I mean, at least for your life, I will not be around. For the rest of your life, I'm probably going to check out at some point along the lines. I mean, not anytime soon, possibly. I don't think so. I'm imagining, again, where I'm imagining, projecting. I don't see that happening. I see myself kind of living a regular life. Though who knows? We don't have that. We can't always have that figured out. But I suspect I'm going to just kind of live a regular life. Push it to about 70, 75, 80. I don't know, but who's to say? But anyway, I'm not, always going to be doing this show. Let's hope not. No, actually, I should. That is sort of the idea in some ways. Is it's sort of like looking inside the person's brain. In this case, my brain. This is really truly a reality kind of unfiltered, unedited, inside the artist's brain. And I guess I'd call myself an artist, though I many times don't think of myself as an artist. Believe it or not, I don't. Because I guess, even though I've been sort of, schooled in the arts in many respects, I don't necessarily feel I operate as an artist in terms of playing the game. And what do I mean by that? Well, I mean, if you go to art school, you learn certain ways of being of art, an artist, and generally that is there's sort of these paths, and there's almost sort of an unwritten guidelines on how you achieve your goals as being an artist. And I kind of learned early on that wasn't going to work for me, and ultimately I just sort of discovered my own survival, and in reality that's the case for all of us. Some of us are able to properly abide by the rules, these sort of unwritten rules, in whatever operation you're in, whatever field of industry, if you want to call art an industry, but it is, I guess, an industry. But in all cases, there's always room for I don't know, unique. I wouldn't necessarily say what I'm doing is unique, but just making your own way. There's a lot to be said with making your own way. By making your own way, you're going to have a better idea of who you are. I suspect you do. You would. You would have a better way of knowing who you are. If by going through the loops and hoops and hurdles of already well documented approaches, then you're just part of the system in a sense. Then you may not have a better grasp of who you are. But if you do everything sort of on your own timeline, and you're truer to yourself, then you're most likely, I would assume, you're gonna do some things that are not part of the procedures, protocol. As I've mentioned before, art is not the army. You know what I'm saying? Art is not the army. You know, if you're in the army or if you're in the military, you know, if you have one little mishap or any kind of inkling of sort of a mental breakdown of some sort, you are out. You are kicked out of the military just like that. Boom, or you're demoted, or you're not promoted. And you know, in the art world, there's a lot of room for sort of questioning life. You know what I mean? And that's our job. That's our job as artists, is to question life, and to maybe even to be accepting, far more accepting. You know, military, their job is to protect the country and, I guess, police the world, whatever the hell they're supposed to do. But it is a machine, and you become part of the machine, and that's complete opposite of what an artist is or should be. My thinking. Now, having said that, there are groups, there's organizations within the art world that are like machines. They are like military machines in terms of how they churn out, how they indoctrinate you in being a number, if you will. And again, I don't see the value of that, honestly. But again, there's a whole spectrum of thought. There's always opposing viewpoints. There's benefits in all, in all ways of thought and processes, particularly in the art world. If we're going to talk about the art world, now again, if we're talking about any other industry, I'm not going to speculate on that, but I think the parameters are a little more closed in on your ability to have a true freedom of who you are. So kudos for art and for creativity. Kudos for that approach and that kind of having that out there, having that option. And yes, a lot of it can be looked upon as just the worst thing ever, made by a human. I'm never a big fan of a lot of stuff that I see that is made by fellow artists. But I'm not against it in the sense of it needs to be destroyed. And the other thing you got to remember too is that if everybody, and this was the mistake with any totalitarian society that tries to control what art is, they always make the mistake of doing so, and then the artwork becomes limited. They limit the output of that society. They limit the amount of stuff, but they limit that what that does. Where one can go. Like in the good examples were recent examples. There was, and there still is. You'll see in China and in Russia, particularly when they were more and particularly Russia was I guess the USSR or the Soviet Union, whatever. I guess that was their official name. Everyone. There was a lot of art being made, but the art that was being made was, state sanctioned, and so anyway, they were all pretty well trained, and the same thing with Chinese artists. Now, not so much the case for both countries, but back in the, I guess, all the way up until the 90s, until they both sides kind of loosened up on their grip on things. There was just a big, and I'm sure China still has this issue, but clearly there's some great art coming out of China now, because they're getting the their connection with the rest of the world, But anyway, the education of these students was limited, and then I'm just speaking off the top of my head, and I don't have all the perfect. All the literature and examples, but there is a preponderance of art being made that is structured in sort of a safe vehicle, and clearly it kind of had sort of an illustrated structure, and so you would see maybe a lot of immigrants from those two countries come to this country as artists and make work. When you see their work, it represents just that sort of education of a structured kind of. You need to do it this way. You need to make art this way. You need to learn how to do things this way. And it was rammed down every child's creative thought process. I mean, that was just so it became a machine, the machine of so that you could work your magic for this government, or whatever government that was. So thank God that we're not in that position so much anymore. But we're always battling, and we're coming down to the end of the hour here, as I conveniently avoided painting here and in the likes. But we are constantly in a battle, because with art and the freedom of art, the freedom of making art the way you want to make art, and exploring things that might be a little hard to accept, society or a government institutions. But that is very important that artists are allowed to do this. Now obviously there's because it otherwise it's just you get a lot of mush. You don't advance, you don't push the envelope, and art needs to be pushing the envelope. It's one place, it's really the only place that ever pushes the envelope and advances us. Believe it or not, we advance, even though it seems just asinine and against all conventional wisdoms of a present day society to allow such acts being done. But now, look, if you're going to hurt yourself or hurt others, as I always say, that's usually that's question mark, right? I mean, I'm not sure that's really, personally, I like that thought. But having said that, there's a whole bunch of artwork out there that is about self-mutilation, self-deprecation. But where is that line? I'm not an expert, and I would just be careful with those kind of works, I suppose. The ones that are clearly hurting themselves, where there's no return. But self-mutilation, that's also, that's like tattooing, right? I mean, what degree are we talking here, right? Okay, I'm going to cut my head off because that's going to be an art piece. Okay, so all right, so that's probably, I don't think anyone's ever going to, make that the an artwork, or ever be received as an artwork. That could be more perceived as some sort of protest and just sad. Well, not so much sad, but I guess so sad. But doing stuff like piercings and the like, or using body fluids. It seems gross, but it's not necessarily the end of the world, and it's very challenging. It's challenging. A perfect example is the artist years ago, Chris Burden, having someone shoot him, or I forget how it went down, but someone shot him in the arm. I mean, that was an art piece. So, I mean, that's how. And then actually, it was a more recent update. A student, I happen to know him, Joe. Am I supposed to mention his name? Yeah, I guess it's okay to say his name. Anyway, he kind of reenacted it to some degree at school, and it was a battle of well, is this okay? And yeah, those are scary things. I mean, to put forth. The insanity of the artist comes into play, I guess. So it's. Well, that's the show today. Appreciate you guys hanging out. Have a great weekend. Make sure you go to letspainttv.com, as I like to mention, and go from there. I don't know what was wrong with the chat room. There was no one in there today. They came in and ran away pretty quickly. So I'm not sure what that meant or what that is, but whatever. We'll see you again Monday on the program. Other than that, go to letspainttv.com. And obviously you were all relatively shy about calling me today, but if you want to contact me after the show, just John at letspainttv.com or mrletspaint@gmail.com. I will talk to you. All right, that's it for me. Good day. Bye-bye.